my work, my whole wish and my whole life was all about improving the I, improving us as people, improving us as persons, doing whatever we could on that level to create better lives for ourselves, for our children, for our family, for the greater society. Yeah, so if we worked on something that wasn't quite right and created troubles for us, if we worked on it and created and kind of released the trouble, then life would be better. And I thought, if we worked long and hard enough and deep enough, right, to go all to the very bottom of all these issues, eventually we'd be free and clear. Eventually we'd be, I don't know exactly what I thought, but I thought we'd be free and clear, and we'd just be able to live life without problems. That was my naive little idea of what my healing work was able to do. And so one day, I was sitting and preparing for a weekend workshop. The work was done in a group setting, and I was kind of hit over the head with a flash knowing. Some kind of a knowing suddenly came in that, I don't know how it came, but suddenly it was there. And it showed that all of us human beings, there's nothing to us at all. There's just emptiness there. We're like empty shells walking around, empty shells walking, or empty puppets walking, right? And so it was tough to see that, because that was my whole life, right? Just what have I been doing for all these years, and who am I as well, right? So I canceled my workshop, and I was hoping some other insight, another little kid would come and explain this to me. Didn't make sense, of course, with what I had studied, right? I thought the I was the structure that we needed to work on, and the I is the body, this thing, right, that we all take ourselves to be, and if we worked on that, we would eventually become free and live great lives. And here, suddenly I was shown that there's nothing to us at all. So anyway, nothing came, no other flash knowing hit, and I was kind of left with this, realizing I can't continue my work, obviously, there's nothing to us. What am I working on? And so I left my work after a month. When as nothing else showed up, I closed the doors to my business and also closed the door to my income. But what happened is that when I was willing to walk away from my business and from doing the work and away from the life as I had known it, as I understood it, as I lived it, as I breathed it, right? That was it. It opened the door to then begin scrubbing out Margot Riddler. And by scrubbing out, I mean there is a force that went in. It felt like that, like a force went in, and it began scrubbing everything that I had thought Margot Riddler. And you see, we think we are these solid people in these bodies are ours, and we are these bodies, and we live in these bodies, or whatever ideas we have. And it's all very solid, and it's all very contained, and it's all very real and all very true. But for me, what happened, what the process was, everything that I thought I was taken away, was scrubbed away. Everything that I had studied, everything that I knew, everything that I had understood, everything that I thought the world was, the people were, who I was in relation to my family, who I was as a woman, as a professional, as a mother, as a daughter, as a sister, as a friend. Everything, it was taken away. It's like one by one, all of these concepts were taken away. And it was incredibly scary, incredibly terrifying, because imagine, everything you think yourself to be suddenly gets pulled out one by one, and I could feel it one by one. Things was pulled out, was scrubbed away, and more empty space was created. So whatever was taken out, there was then a whole The next thing was taken out, another hole, yeah. And so hole, 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 hole. So pretty much there were just holes everywhere. Yeah. And you see I didn't have words back then. Those words just are here now, looking back. Yeah. And now I can say what the I is. Right? Back then I had no idea. So there were these structures still left of incredible terror and fear because of these holes, this nothingness, right? This emptiness, this void. There was nothing there. You couldn't, yeah, it was like, I couldn't hook into anything more, and nothing could be placed there. It was like void, nothing. And so the Margot structure, which I will show you afterwards what I mean by that, the structure of who I thought I was trying to, make sense of it all. What, how, what now? Because usually when we do healing work or work on ourselves, work on our I, what we do is we replace something for something else, right? A kind of a bad trait or a bad habit or a bad feeling or whatever, right? We work on it and it gets transmuted to something good, right? So it's like it's balanced out. But that wasn't the case here with me. Everything was taken out and nothing was left. You see, only space, 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 everywhere just space. And so we are so used to holding on to things. We hold on to people, we hold on to money, to jobs, to our houses, to properties, to ideas, to beliefs, to concepts, to everything that we hold on and make things stable and strong and solid, right? And these are the words now. I didn't understand that when it was happening, but that's how it is. Continuously trying to cling to stuff, yeah? And so, but it couldn't cling anymore, you see? You grab into nothing, and you can't grab hold of anything, right? So you grab here, and there's nothing. Then you try here, and there's nothing. Right? So it was terrifying, terrifying. I felt like I was slipping into this hole, right? Into this void, and I mean, what's going to happen, right? It was incredibly terrifying, and I thought I was going crazy, because you see, if everything kind of loses its grip, right? I mean, the grip is kind of holding us in place here, make sense of everything, right? And so if nothing is, you can't hold on anything anymore. And the other thing that happened, everything that was solid, yeah, like the floor and the walls and the chairs and the tables, everything kind of, that too, was not solid anymore. I kind of could put my hands through. I mean, not literally, but it felt like that. It was like nothing. And the body was like, is there still a body? It was so weird. It was so weird. And that was a process of 6 months, yeah? And now, looking back, I call it the whole I was dissolved, was taken to pieces, right? And I show you afterwards some visuals I created so you can get a sense of that. So the I, what you think you are, it's just concepts. Just ideas, just beliefs, it's just patterns, it's just files full of stuff that you have studied, that was passed down to you, that is something to be true, something to be known. There's nothing to any of it. Nothing to any of it. And I can tell you this because this happened to me. Everything, one by one, the files were emptied. All the Margot Riddler files that have made up Margot Riddler, out, empty files. And then there were no more empty files either, there was just the void. Everywhere, just the